Good morning. How are you all doing? I came on this morning because I wanted to tell you, Ruby, thank you so much. Your comment meant a great deal. I'm going to tell you why. It is because my cousin, after I did the video, she sent me a link to a story about Serena Williams doing Ozempic and openly talking about her journey. And so she specifically wanted me to read the comments, up under her the link, and it wasn't anything nice at all. Okay, and I get why she sent it to me because she's, like, I don't know if you really want to expose yourself to this level of negativity because of your decisions. So be mindful, just consider that before you start doing your Ozempic thing on YouTube. And I was like, okay, 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 got you. I'll pray about it. I'll pray about it. So thank you so much, Ruby. You said they are not hot flashes, they are personal summers. I love that. Yes, it is a personal summer. I have come out the other side of menopause. My issue was the night sweats and mood swings. Listen, getting up in the middle of the night because you are sweating, it is torturous. I I mean, yeah, I used to have those too. They used to drive me crazy. Now, I started getting the night sweats when I was perimenopause. And when that happened, I stopped drinking sodas. And then I realized when I stopped drinking sodas, the night sweats went away. But then recently, they've started showing back up again. Honey, that is nothing to play with. And me being me, I don't want to be sweaty, then get back on the clean sheets. So I have to change linen, I have to take a shower, get back. Girl, the other issue I was having, sleep disturbances. I was not able to sleep a full night's rest all the way through. I was trying melatonin, magnesium, and neither of them were helping me get a restful sleep because I just kept waking up, kept waking up. Honey, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Do you hear me? I am not okay with it. You said, thanks for sharing this. I've been thinking about a GOP one, but I'm concerned about a long term side effects. This is my thing. Um, I super duper analyze everything. And then I reached out to a few relatives who are healthcare professionals. And of course, I had a long list of questions for my doctor, and I found a solution for tracking any medical long-term effects, requesting labs every 6 months. Every 6 months. So that way I see what's going on with my liver, my pancreas, my my kidneys, and anything else which that may start looking odd, right? Not only that, making sure that annually I'm requesting a GI visit to see my gastroenterologist and asking my GI doctor, is it possible for him to put in for me to see him every 6 months also? So that way he can compare the labs. He can also do an exam and tracking my symptoms. So that's one way I figured to closely monitor my health while I'm doing it. Now, yesterday was a glorious day. I felt just fine. Just fine. Can't complain about it at all. Now, for the first time in 2 days, I felt a little inkling of a little bellyache, like hunger pain. Not pain, but feeling hungry. That was last night around 11 o'clock. I got up, I went in there and took some pepperoni, some chicken breast, and made me a little wrap. Ate half of that and got, what I needed. Drank some water, and I was fine. You're not gonna sit down and eat a whole heaping Southern dinner portion of food when you're on it because your body is programmed almost like this is enough caloric intake for your body to have what it needs. I do multivitamins as well. And so I do the whole food pyramid, to be honest with you, to make sure my body is getting the nutrients that it need for all of this, right? Another thing I left out yesterday, I do apologize. Um, my doctor was telling me, try to stick to things that are baked, broiled, or boiled or grilled because fried foods are going to give you diarrhea. Anything that's been fried, may it be you fried it or it was fried and then you heat it up, fried foods are going to give you diarrhea. So I've never been a fried food person, but I meant to mention that just in case someone are listening to the videos and they decide to take the journey. So my suggestion to you, if I were you, consider having an extensive conversation with your doctor. I was shocked when my doctor let me know that GOP has been around for almost 40 years. It's been around for almost 40 years. They've used it for different things for many years. And people are starting to learn more about it. It's being used for weight management before now. Okay. So it was being given to people who had binge eating disorders and had things going on with them because a specific hormone chemical it is secreted in the brain that cause people to binge eat, to have sugar cravings, and three, the same symptoms that are associated with menopause. It also helped me realize why I would this is my theory, why women who were either close to menopause or in menopause, all of a sudden they're being diagnosed with diabetes and things like that. And here I am understanding genetics play a role, but if you have intense cravings that are associated with your menopause, and they're telling you to lay off the sugar and they don't realize something's going on in your body that is fueling your sugar craving. This isn't a normal sugar craving like, oh, I would love to have something sweet. You cannot control it. It is very clear that something is going on in your body. Well, it was for me. It's clear that something is going on in my body that I cannot control. This is not normal because I'm an extremely disciplined person with everything in my life. I'm very disciplined and orderly. And this was something I could not control, and my body was on autopilot for destructive things. It's not just the sugary stuff, also salty, savory stuff. I'm not a chips person. All of a sudden, I'm eating chips like nobody's business. Girl, I done came in here and made something akin to a hypertension bowl because somehow I saw the little kids making something called a spicy bowl. Girl, I am in here eating it and dipping chips in it of all things, and this thing is filled with hot sausages and jalapeno peppers, banana peppers, peppercini peppers, and vinegar here and vinegar there, and girl, I know good and well, and it's something your body can't control. So I started thinking about middle age and older Black women back in the day who were experiencing things that led to chronic and severe health conditions, and all of them were around the same age. It was always around the same age. Late 40s, early 50s, mid 50s. You're seeing them having, to get insulin. Then as they get older, they're going into kidney failure and stuff. So it stuck out for me. But the same symptoms, there was something available for them that they were not telling us about, but clearly giving to other people. If you caught what I just said, because they wasn't going to dialysis, they didn't have chronic diabetes all these years. They were giving it to them. They were giving them the prescriptions for the GLP-1 and didn't tell us about it. You didn't see a bunch of them in dialysis centers, but you saw a bunch of us. They were not giving us the medications that could have taken care of these cravings, intense cravings and things. So I didn't know how long it had been around, the different things it was being used for, how hormones, hormone depletion and elevation impact us in so many ways. So that's my recommendation. Not just research it for yourself, but ask your doctor to go and do additional research and come back and have the conversation with you. Because I did two different consults with him before I was like, okay, I'll do it. Just something to, I'm sorry, just something to consider. Okay, guys, I am back. My apologies. I received a flood of calls. Anyway, now I want to talk to you guys about this passport bro thing. Are y'all ready for it? Let's go. I meant to mention something to you about J. Rello, Scott Inslee I hadn't previously discussed in my video yesterday. And it is the following. So, J. Rello, before he assaulted the lady in the DR, before the incident in Thailand, I meant to mention that also yesterday, there was a video of J. Rello in Thailand. I watched that live, by the way, on his channel. There was an African lady, she was from Kenya, young lady. She had to be maybe 23, 24 years old. She came back to his space or room in Thailand. And while he was there with her, he asked her, did she want some water? He went and got the water for her. And that water didn't look right, guys. It looked kind of cloudy-ish, right? And the young lady knew something wasn't right. She would not drink it. It's like her feminine instincts kicked in overtime, that something wasn't right. And keep in mind, as usual, anytime a woman come into his room, come into his hotel, come into a house, he cuts the camera on to film them. Anyway, you're hearing her like, no, this is wrong. Something is wrong with this water. I don't want to drink it. And when she took 2 to 3 sips, this young lady started being a bit disoriented. She did. You could tell something, it wasn't normal. She was a bit different. And he tried with all his might to get that girl to drink something. And then she ended up leaving. She didn't stay. She didn't do anything with him. She got out of there. She left that water on the coffee table, which was a red flag for me, and that's when he started talking about, I don't know, on my mama, I don't know, on my mom's. I think I want to go to Kenya next. He was in Thailand when he started floating the idea about going to Kenya. And it was right after he met this Kenyan young lady on my mom's, talking about going to Kenya. But that young lady, because of his behavior, I don't doubt that he probably used some illegal substances. I don't doubt that he drinks excessively in the party nature or whatever. There was another video when he was in Thailand walking the strip, and there's prostitutes on both sides of the road, right? And he's hiding like behind this car and filming them, watching them. You can tell he real nervous about talking with them, going over to him. Finally, he goes over to him, speaking with him, and you can tell again, socially awkward, it reminds me of someone who are high functioning autistic. You know how sometimes they don't understand social cues. They're very timid when they're talking to people. That's just part of, being on the spectrum. Please keep in mind, I don't see anything wrong with being on the spectrum. So I don't want you guys to think, I'm speaking bad about or ill about them or anything. No, I'm not. It's just his behavior, body language, the way he was communicating indicate to me he wasn't comfortable talking to women at all. So fast forward. So then then we end up seeing him in the club and these bouncers show up because he was trying to record inside of the club and they ended up hauling his behind up out of there. So before these interactions of possibly drugging someone, the violent interaction down in the DR, assaulting the woman, cursing her out, putting her out, in this situation in Kenya, Jay Rello has a criminal history that entails of um, rape as well as a break-in and robbery. Okay, and kidnapping, excuse me. So you have rape, kidnapping, and, robbery. So it appears that when he was a juvenile, they broke into a home, they raped a woman, and then kidnapping as well. So this man socially, he's sexually violent. You get what I'm saying? He has a criminal history for this. He is sexually violent. Now, because he was a juvenile when he was adjudicated. This is why he's allowed to travel like he does. This is why, because they reduced the charges, then his age, that's why he wasn't held here in the States. Personally, I believe if it's not a violent crime they were convicted for, they received a felony for, I don't think they should be barred from leaving the country. I also believe that they should be able to vote after they serve their time, they finish their probation, parole, whatever it is. Once they finish giving their time to the government for their crimes, I feel like they should be allowed to vote. They should also be allowed to travel. Traveling, I think if it was drug related or something like that, they should be allowed to go ahead and travel again. If it was financial crimes, let them go ahead and travel again. Anyway, so this is the other side of the passport bros culture and what it ruined. Now, when I first came out of the military community and I was still green to civilian interaction, if you know, you know, getting used to interacting with civilians again, because I'm so used to civilians here in military community, that's my family. We all connected. We've been riding forever since I've been, young. So that's my whole life. I had this idea that I wanted to put together a trip to Bali with this group of people on social media, YouTube, I was interacting with couple hundred of us and they were black. And so the reason why I wanted to do the trip was because I knew there were so many African Americans who haven't experienced international travel before. They've never had that chance. So for me, I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and put something together. We can go ahead and have a good time. So you know how I am. I want to plan something. Guess what? Shoot, I'm playing it, right? I go into full blown plan mode. And then I thought about it. I was like, well, their main barrier for not traveling, low funds. You get what I'm saying? So I sat down, I did the numbers, I considered how much spending money would be comfortable spending money. Like number I came up with was like 35, $3,600, right? And so I was like, that's enough for spending money and all of this. So I was like, they got to have a way to make the money. I came up with a way to make the money. During that time, I was still working with my manufacturer that I was working with on the mainland of China. So I explained to them that there were certain products that I decided would be good and marketable streams for them to go ahead and establish their own online stores and possibly start hiring, sellers, in their local area to earn a commission. But what they're doing, they're generating revenue. There is no front end cost. I'm not making any money off of it. All of the money they make, they would, make their payments. I wouldn't take the payments. Make your payments to the travel agent, save your money. So when we go to do this trip to Bali, you have way more than enough money. It's over a year away. And then I started thinking, like, okay, I reached out to the resort there in Bali. I explained to them how many travelers I was looking at, between 12 to 16 travelers. Once it really broke down to who would commit, I wanted this nice group dinner on the beach. I want this, I want that. Find some tour companies who would be able to, take care of us. Find these nice houses if somebody wanted to do like an Airbnb or something, magnificent homes if they want that option, whatever. Of course, they did not follow through. That is when I started learning about the passport bro culture and community and movement. I'm being attacked by black men, brothers, attacking me, about being a black woman, talking about traveling and, oh, you trying to be like a passport bro, and it just threw me for a loop. I didn't know what they were talking about. I didn't understand. You get what I'm saying? When you're starting to interact with civilians again, again, the way they function out here, it's totally different than inside the community. So I didn't understand why they were speaking to me that way. What were they? What is a passport, bro? And then I started researching, and it was jarring and upsetting for me to see the content because I just couldn't believe anyone would say something, you know, it's dark, it's negative, it's toxic, especially as a black person. And then talking about black women, I'm a black woman. You get what I'm saying? I'm a black woman. So you're attacking us as a gender, a culture, a race. It didn't make sense to me. Right. So that trip fell apart. And then the guys who were participating, they were pulled away because, oh no, we can do this as men. See, y'all women, y'all see, y'all don't understand the kind of stuff a man wouldn't do when a man traveling. Not, I didn't know what was going on, y'all. All I knew was I wanted to do something nice. I wanted to see black travelers have an experience. I wanted to see us have a good time. You get what I'm saying? If I can come together and do all kinds of stuff with my military family and all of this, then I know we can do something. You get what I'm saying? As black people in the sector with a K, that fell through. Nonetheless, I went on about my happy day, happy way, and went on, continue doing what I do. Right. It didn't stop travel for me, but it did break down a wonderful trip that I had in motion. I went ahead and called the vendors back and was like, sorry for wasting your time. We're not going to, be moving forward. But anywho, the thing about J Rello is that it's a cautionary tale for a lot of people who plan to travel, because you do see a lot of African American men that, traveling solo nowadays. And you can see the little, a little bit of tension there, a little anxiety. You can read their body language. They're anxious, they're excited at the same time. And so usually Americans, we be talking to each other, where are you from? Where, yeah, oh, okay, yeah. And so it's our way of kind of knowing where you're going to be at, just in case something happens. I know you're in that area. I'm not trying to pick you up or something like that. I just want to, that's the way we communicate. It's a sense of community and family amongst international travelers, and above all amongst black people, because I don't want you somewhere else on an island. Something jumps off. I need to make sure. You get what I'm saying? I want to make sure you're okay. You know where I'm at as well. If something happens, I'm letting you know where I'm staying at. So we all kind of look out for each other. How many days you're staying? So we kind of know. And then when I get back on the plane, If you told me the same day we're leaving at the same day, I'm looking for you on the plane to make sure you made it back. Somebody didn't rob you, kill you, or anything like that. But unfortunately for that particular subgroup, now when you're traveling, they're looking at you like you're the enemy, which is new. I don't like it personally. It's inappropriate. But then my attitude started being like, you know what, you're behind get robbed, stabbed, killed. They end up having somebody done blew up something. You on your own. You don't have not one single solitary American national there you can reach out to in case you need help with something. So you know what? If you want to be nasty, very well then. You solo dolo, you Billy Bad draws, have it, honey. And that's how I go. But I hate it turned into that. It didn't used to be like this, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Girl, no, it wasn't like that. No, we all talk to each other, kiki together, come back, laughing, talking about stuff, showing pictures, talking about how much we partied and stuff. And you need to come to this resort this time. I did this excursion. It's not that way. That same toxic dynamic, that stateside, that's really prevalent right now. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're seeing right now. It's gross. But anywho, let's get to the next order of business. I wanted to speak with you guys about, okay, I'm back. David E. Taylor, this boy, he's not an apostle. If you know or you watched the news yesterday, then you know that David E. Taylor was arrested yesterday, related to his crimes with employees. And of course, you know whose name was mentioned again, Michelle. If you don't remember David E. Taylor, he went viral some years ago for his deposition. They were asking him about his luxury cars, his trips, and all of this, insisting that he wear Louis Vuitton and all of this good stuff. He purchased two Mercedes, had them chopped in half to create a Mercedes, you know, um, limousine just for him. He lives off of the donations of Christian people who contribute to his ministry. Now, some of the basically David E. Taylor, to make it short for you, he is a heretic all day, every day. Don't make any mistake about it. David E. Taylor has for years told people that he is Jesus' best friend. He is the actual pontiff. He is the actual pope of the world. That Jesus gave him St. Peter's keys. Jesus told him that he is the pope, not the current pope in Rome. Right. So this is something he has been telling people for years and years and years. Anyway, and people believe it. He prey on black donators. Now, at one time, he had a pretty big ministerial, circle or group that were around him. Some pretty large, heavy hitters. He's been on television networks. He was friends with Paula White and several other ministers. Now, what happened yesterday, not surprising, because I knew after that deposition that he was going to find himself jammed up with the feds. At one time, he had all of these members living in a tiny house while he's living in a mansion. He had them sending out mass mailing solicitations, calling people, basically begging and soliciting for money. Now, during the same time, I ended up at Fort Bragg. Something happened. Fort Bragg. When I first got to Fort Bragg, that was a very crazy time spiritually. I'm telling you, Jesus was wearing me out. Okay, listen. So I finally get to Fort Bragg. I'm not even there 2 months. This was like that October, November. And so there was a group on Facebook that I was a member of, and all we did was accept prayer requests. We didn't do anything else. We didn't donate money. We didn't give money. We didn't ask for money. It was 100% basically a prayer room. So you name it, anything you need prayer for, there were always someone on the wall, willing and able to intercede for you. So I'm in the prayer group one day, And so I saw this post, so I ended up commenting under it. So then the girl messaged me, then I gave her my phone number and she called. And she did tell me her name was Michelle, right? She did. So I'm speaking with her. Everything is going good. It seemed like we speak the same language when it comes to the kingdom of God and loving the Lord and committing our lives to Him. Babe, she said that our apostle, have you ever heard of him? Apostle Taylor, Apostle David Taylor. And she started going on and on about how he's a man of God, God calling him to do this, God calling him to do that. And the way she started describing him, immediately it popped in my head. She sounded like she part of a cult or something. She does. So I started kind of leading the conversation down a road for me to kind of check and balance to see if this girl is really okay. Right. And she had a kid. I could hear the kid in the background when I was on the phone with her, like running around playing. She wouldn't stop what she was doing. But I do remember her saying, I have to go now. I have a certain number of calls I have to make. It was good talking to you, whatever. She ended up calling me back like a few days later and she was like, have you considered and thought about if you want to give a donation or not? Girl, what is wrong with you? I'm not giving it anyone. Girl, I am not giving anyone any money. Girl, are you crazy? What is wrong with you? I didn't say that to her, but that's what I was thinking. Like, girl, I am not sewing no money into this, and it sounds like you in some kind of cult or something. And honey, the Holy Spirit is jumping all over me that something is wrong with this equation. Anyway, so she ends up, I don't know. She just ended up finding herself, dealing with this man in a manner that I feel like was inappropriate. And what I mean by that is the following. When you're doing something for someone and you're serving a ministry and it consists of you calling all of these people and basically soliciting money, that is 100% a scam. That is not decent and in order. All of his sermons were 100% about him being braggadocious about himself. He got the keys to the kingdom. It's narcissistic, you know. When people pervert their role in leadership, it always ends up being 100% about them, 0% about God, 0% about Christ, 0% about the Holy Spirit, 0% about the word. Everything is about them, and nobody else knows anything but them. But thank God, yesterday up there in North Carolina, of all places, you see that now. Clock it. Clock it. Of all places, his behind get bust down. It's in North Carolina. It's in North Carolina. So up there in the triangle yesterday, he was arrested. Hopefully they never let him out again. I am so thankful for the people who have been entwined and bound up in this ministry are being able to get away. I am also hoping that they get some kind of care and support, because after the FBI does the raid and they take away the main character, these people still need help and support, not just spiritually, but mentally, emotionally. They need help. He was taking these people food stamp cards. They weren't even allowed to keep their own food stamp cards. He would deny them food and shelter and rest if they didn't do what he said. That is abuse. I mean, there's no way around it. That is severe abuse, and that kind of treatment psychologically changed these people for the rest of their lives. They need help. I mean, let me make a note now so I can email. I am gonna email. I'm not kidding. You know how I am about things. If it come to mind, to ask that they please follow up with them and provide them with some kind of emotional, and mental health support and resources. It's going to be a journey for them. It is not easy to work with victims of cults and organized entities that abuse people. The same thing goes with the gangs as well. People wonder why people can't quit gangs. They're also a form of cult behaviors and psychology and patterns of abuse, drawing them close, abusing them. I mean, and it just whittles them down to nothing. They'll do anything to please them. And so, this group of people, majority predominantly African American women, they will need help because they've been abused. They were also made to go buy Plan Bs for the women he would have them to pick up and bring to him to have sex with him and then get them Plan Bs and just throw them out again. These again are women of faith who are being treated this way. There are so many breaches in the lives of African American women that lead them vulnerable to predatory people. Not just men, but even women can be predatory towards another woman. And he's definitely a predator who is finally, he has been caught and he will be held accountable. I want you to keep him Another thing I want you to keep in mind is that with this particular abuse and situation, Michelle was also arrested. And I know why they arrested her as well with him. It is because they knew to get him, they had to get the other. Because if they kept her out, it would have continued. Um, she did anything and everything that he said 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I just stopped to look it up because I was going to try to drop a link in here somewhere for you, but the best news station that you can see everything from is W as in whiskey, R as in Romeo, A as in Alpha, L as in Lima, WRAL. Um, Let me put it there on the screen for you. WRAL is the news station there, up there in North Carolina. So check it out, go watch it so you can see, you get what I'm saying, what happened. It is crazy. It is absolutely nuts, but I'm glad that people were able to get out and it was forced labor. That's the charge that they have charged both of them with. It is forced labor and money laundering as well. But I'm sure other abuses will come out. Apparently, he had them in Tampa, in North Carolina. They were up there in the triangle, basically. Um, where his little scam stand was at. Honey, of all places for him to be, he up there in North Carolina playing these kind of games with Bishop Wooden. Now, I can tell you, we're going to see more of these cases come out, and I'm going to tell you why. This little circle of pastor panhandlers, they're all connected to each other and friends with one another, and they do laugh at taking people's money, and it never goes back to the community. It never goes back to those in the Bible we're charged to help, care for, and support. It never goes back to them ever. All this money they have amassed and taken from people, each one of them, they could have built a community of tiny homes, and we are facing a housing crisis. We're facing a medical crisis. We're facing a financial crisis within the African American community. And none of them have absolutely positively to offer the people. They just took the money for themselves to live as kings while the people they're serving are paupers. It's ridiculous and disgusting. I will be back to have a conversation with you guys about that. Now, even though I've been taking breaks and stuff and coming back, I've spoken with you guys for almost 40 minutes, which is way longer than normal. So I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope that you have an awesome day in every way. Take care.